They hauled away my truck without any notice, so I made their entire parking lot vanish. I returned from a weekend getaway to discover an empty space where my old F-150 had been sitting. Resting on the curb was a bright yellow HOA citation, laminated and arrogant. Unauthorized vehicle removed per HOA community guidelines. Unauthorized. That single word seared into my mind. I don't even reside within their gated community. My property lies just beyond their boundary, a 2-acre plot with a gravel driveway running parallel to their clubhouse lot. But evidently, the appearance of my rusty truck offended their pristine HOA sensibilities. So without placing a phone call, without knocking on my door, they arranged for it to be towed. No advance warning, no common courtesy. When I dialed the number printed on the notice, the towing yard informed me the HOA president himself had authorized the order. And the retrieval fee? $1,200 cash only. I paid it, but my blood simmered the entire drive home. You see, that truck wasn't merely metal and wheels. It was the final project my father and I completed together before he died. Every dent held a memory. Every weld bore his fingerprints. Every patch of paint represented a piece of our shared history. And these people had stripped it from me as if it were garbage cluttering their scenery. That evening, I strolled past their clubhouse lot. Brilliant lamps poured perfect white illumination onto gleaming SUVs arranged in orderly rows. And then I observed something they had taken completely for granted for years. That lot, their treasured overflow parking area, occupied a corner of land that wasn't actually in their possession. I recalled my grandfather sharing stories with me when I was young. Decades earlier, the county had negotiated an agreement with the HOA for temporary access so they could construct that parking lot. But the deed itself? It remained registered in my family's name. My grandfather never transferred it. He never relinquished ownership. And suddenly, I understood exactly what needed to be done. The very next morning, I retrieved the deed from my filing cabinet, wiped away the dust, and walked straight into the county office. Within a week's time, I had submitted paperwork to revoke their access privileges. 30 days later, the county stamped it approved. Just like that, the land and the entire lot they had constructed on it became legally mine once more. I didn't waste a moment. On a Friday evening after the final car had departed, I brought in a crew equipped with fencing, posts, and warning signs. By sunrise, a brand-new chain-link barrier surrounded the entire lot. Bright red lettering screamed from every sign. Private property, no parking, violators towed at owner's expense. By Saturday morning, pandemonium erupted. Visitors had nowhere to park for their tennis matches and brunches. Residents drove in circles around the block, forced to cram their luxury vehicles into narrow side streets. The HOA board contacted me in a panic. "You can't do this, Philip," the arrogant HOA president snapped over the phone. "Oh, but I absolutely can," I replied, brandishing the deed like a victor's flag, "and I will until I'm compensated, every penny for the tow plus damages for harassment." They attempted intimidation with lawyers. I reminded them they had trespassed unlawfully. They had constructed on land that didn't belong to them, and now every day they delayed was only deepening their legal nightmare. By week's end, they surrendered. The HOA wrote me a check for $10,000, nearly 10 times what they had stolen from me. They pleaded with me to lease the lot back to them on a long-term basis. I refused without a moment's hesitation. Instead, I converted it into my own private domain, a gravel yard for my truck and my trailer. Now, every single time the HOA board drives past, they receive a perfect view of what their arrogance ultimately cost them.